Huh? You're leaving? What nonsense are you talking about? You are my son's wife. I won't allow you to do that. I'm not your son's wife or anything anymore. He's already dead and you and I are strangers. What? What are you saying? Even if your husband died, you are still his wife. That means you can't leave this house. In other words, you have to take care of me forever. It's your job as a daughter-in-law to look after me in my old age. You seem to be still drunk. Huh? My name is Lillian, a 37-year-old housewife. I currently live with my husband Joshua, my 9-year-old daughter Paisley, and my mother-in-law in my in-laws' house. My father-in-law passed away 5 years ago, and we started living in my in-laws' house after he died. Now that I think about it, my days of hell started from there. As soon as I started living with my in-laws, I was bullied by my mother-in-law. She complained about my cooking all the time. She also criticized me for everything else I did and denied my personality. She also often insulted my appearance. My mother-in-law loves alcohol and often drinks too much and gets drunk. She said to me many times, "Your face makes the alcohol taste bad." At first, I fought back against my mother-in-law, but I gave up at some point and decided to ignore her. That point was when I found out about my husband's affair. He was having a relationship with a young woman behind my back. I said, "Let's get divorced" at that time, but he apologized over and over, saying, "It was just a mistake. I'll never do it again. Please forgive me." He probably didn't have much feelings for me anymore, but he didn't want to be separated from his daughter. He said he absolutely didn't want to get divorced. He loved his daughter very much, and she was very attached to him, too. She was only 7 years old at the time. I thought it might be a bit pitiful to separate them now. I made him promise not to cheat again, and I got him to pay me alimony and decided to continue the marriage. After that, my feelings for him became much weaker, and I hate to say it, but I treated him as an ATM. He was supporting me and my daughter, and I could become a housewife. The harassment from my mother-in-law was still the same, but I thought I could manage if I just endured it. 2 years passed in no time like that. My daughter, who had just started elementary school, was already in 3rd grade. I thought that watching her grow up would be my only reason to live. Then, my husband suddenly died. And the way he died was terrible. He was cheating on me at the time, and he was flirting with his cheating partner in her apartment. Then, her husband, who was supposed to be on a business trip, came back unexpectedly. He confronted my husband, who panicked and picked up his clothes and ran out of the door. But he tripped on the stairs and fell headfirst. He broke his neck and died. I was speechless and couldn't say anything. He managed to put on his pants while running away, and the photo taken by the police showed him lying down in his underwear. I had already given up on him as a husband and treated him as an ATM, so I was more angry and disgusted by the fact that he died in such a stupid way and brought shame to our family than sad by his death. The only ones who mourned his death were my daughter and my mother-in-law. But my mother-in-law seemed to be very embarrassed by the way her son died, and she told me to tell everyone that he died in an accident. "You have to tell everyone that my son died in an accident." As for my daughter, she didn't understand the details yet, so she thought that her father really died in an accident, and she was very sad. I think he was a really good father to her. He often took her to shopping centers and other places on weekends, and he always talked to her with a smile and kindness. He was the worst as a husband, but I appreciate him for that. Now that my husband was gone, the troublesome existence was my mother-in-law. She started drinking more alcohol after he died, and she increased her verbal abuse towards me. "It's all your fault. If you had divorced my son sooner, he could have remarried a better woman and wouldn't have done such a risky thing as cheating. It was him who didn't want to divorce me." "Shut up. You're a cheeky daughter-in-law. You don't talk back to your mother-in-law. My granddaughter doesn't like me either, and she's not cute. Maybe that's because you always smell like alcohol." "Oh. You always have something to say. I'm worried about our future." "What? At least fix your bad personality." What is she talking about? Does she think that my daughter and I will stay in this house even though my husband is dead? I don't want to live with her anymore. I'll leave as soon as the memorial service is over. After that, I started preparing to leave my in-laws' house, such as looking for an apartment to live with my daughter, and applying for public assistance as a single mother. By the way, I found out that my ex-husband had other cheating partners, and I sued 2 of them for alimony. Thanks to that, I had enough money to move and live for a while. And I found a job and started working. I used to work as an office worker for almost 10 years, so I was recognized for my experience and hired as a full-time employee at a small company. My mother-in-law was happy to hear that I started working for some reason. You finally decided to support this family. That's a good attitude. Huh. I didn't understand, but she still seemed to think that I would stay in this house. Well, if I tell her now that I'm leaving, she'll probably go crazy, so I'll keep quiet. Anyway, all I have to do now is to prepare to leave in the best possible condition. And after I finished the procedures for the apartment and other things, the day of my husband's memorial service finally came. All the relatives gathered for the memorial service, but they all seemed eager to hear the truth about my husband's death. My mother-in-law didn't want the fact of her son's infidelity to be exposed, so she explained to the relatives that he died in an accident at the funeral. At the funeral, my daughter was very sad and cried for her father's death, so everyone focused on her and there were few people who knew the truth and no one questioned my mother-in-law. But by the time of the memorial service, the rumor that my husband died while cheating had spread among the relatives. But they couldn't ask in front of the young daughter who loved her father, and they were all restless. After the service was over, the meal started. My daughter was tired from being up early and doing unfamiliar things, and she fell asleep after eating. Then, the relatives thought they had a chance and crowded around my mother-in-law and asked her questions one after another like entertainment reporters. Is it true that your son was cheating and it was a terrible scene? Did he get into a fistfight with the other woman's husband and fall down the stairs? You know, that's a murder case. Your son panicked and ran away naked and fell down the stairs, right? They were wrong in some places, but I wonder how the details leaked. I thought that humans' sense of smell for other people's misfortune was quite sensitive. My mother-in-law ignored their questions and ran to me. I told you not to tell anyone, but you blabbed it out. What? I didn't tell anyone anything. Don't lie. You're the victim of his cheating. There's a high possibility that you hated him and spread it around. That statement is like admitting everything. So it was true, and the place was buzzing. Oh, no, this is not. Lillian. It's your fault. Why is it my fault? If you hadn't made me angry, I wouldn't have suffered such humiliation. How much do you want to make fun of me? No, like I said, I didn't spread anything about my husband's death, and you just made a mistake by yourself, right? It's risky for me to spread how he died, too, you know? I don't want my daughter to know that her father died in such a way. Even though I tried to calmly clear up the misunderstanding, my mother-in-law didn't listen to me at all, maybe because she was drunk. Shut up. It's all because of you that my son died. You have no charm as a woman, so he had to go to other women and lost his life. She spewed out so many insults that it was out of control, and the relatives were also disgusted by her. And then, she passed out from drinking too much. The relatives sympathized with me and spoke to me kindly. You must have had a hard time living with such a mother-in-law. Yes, but it's over today. I'm leaving with my daughter tomorrow. When I said that, the relatives also said, that's good, you should leave as soon as possible, and encouraged me. The next day, my mother-in-law woke up late in the morning with a hangover, so I took the opportunity to pack up my things with my daughter and get ready to leave. When my mother-in-law woke up and came to the living room, she ordered me to give her water. Water? Well, it's the last time, so I guess I'll give her some water. I said that and put a glass of water in front of her, who was sitting on the dining chair with a sour face. And after she drank the water, she finally looked at us properly. Oh. Are you going out? Yes, I guess so. More like leaving than going out, though. Huh? Leaving? What nonsense are you talking about? You are my son's wife. I won't allow you to do that. I'm not your son's wife or anything anymore. He's already dead and you and I are strangers. What? What are you saying? Even if your husband died, you are still his wife. That means you can't leave this house. In other words, you have to take care of me forever. It's your job as a daughter-in-law to look after me in my old age. You seem to be still drunk. Huh? When my husband died, our legal relationship ended. What? That means you and I are legally completely strangers now. No. So I don't have to stay in this house and take care of you. Then what am I supposed to do from now on? I don't know. You have to figure it out yourself. There are various options, like living on a pension or entering a facility. Don't be ridiculous. I won't let you leave on your own. At least leave your husband's inheritance. Don't worry, the inheritance is all yours. I renounced it. What? As soon as she found out that she could get the inheritance, she smiled. Oh, is that so? You know your position well. Then there is no problem. Please leave as soon as possible. I'll leave even if you don't tell me. But, you know that the inheritance is a negative one, right? Huh? What my husband left behind was a debt from a consumer finance company. What? How much is it? It's $50,000. It's $50,000? I can't pay such a large amount of money. Well, maybe you can manage if you sell this house. No way. This house is my only asset. I won't give it to anyone. And if I sell it, I'll have nowhere to live. Then you have no choice but to pay it off little by little from your pension. It must be hard with the interest and all, but good luck. By the way, the mother-in-law couldn't renounce the inheritance even if she wanted to. When my father-in-law died, she had changed the name of the house to my husband's name as an inheritance measure. She couldn't renounce only the debt, so renouncing the inheritance meant losing the house as well. The mother-in-law turned pale and collapsed on the spot. I left with my daughter, ignoring her. And I blocked the mother-in-law's number so that she couldn't contact me at all. I don't know if she was able to pay off the debt safely, but there is no doubt that she is forced to live a poor life because of the debt. On the other hand, I moved to an apartment with my daughter and we are living a comfortable and happy life together. My daughter is growing up to be a good girl and she even helps me with cooking lately. I want to work hard as a single mother and raise my daughter well from now on.
Her mother-in-law not only defended her son's affair, but also expected her to take care of her in her old age. What a shameless mother-in-law she was. I think it would have affected the child as well if they had lived together. Lillian made a nice decision to leave early. Please continue to live a happy life with your child. Thank you for watching until the end. How did you like this story? Please also subscribe to our channel. See you in the next video.